We'll start by stretching our wrists, turning the fingers out and then back towards you and placing the palms of the hands on the ground. And then allowing your hips to start to move back towards your heels as much as you can so that there is a stretching sensation into the wrists. We don't stay here for too long, so being mindful that you're not inflicting any pain onto yourself in this posture. Making sure that you're breathing here. We'll now start to come out of the pose, and the next pose will be where we bring our hands into fists, and then we bring our fists together and bring the back of the hand onto the floor or the mat in front of you. Then start to lift up almost like you're rounding your spine. This will feel like a beautiful sensation into the back of the hand, and it might even come into the forearms as well. Always going to your level, never pushing to a point where you're experiencing pain. Breathing deeply and smoothly here. And just be the witness to what sensation you're experiencing. This might be something completely new to you. Next pose. Now we come into toe squat. So tuck all of your toes underneath you, even the little one. And you may actually start by having your hands down on the mat in front of you, or you might feel comfortable enough to sit on your heels straight away. And then when you get to that place, just coming to be nice and still, focusing on your breath and allowing your breath and your mind to become a little bit more synchronistic here. Eyes can be open or closed, just depending on how you're feeling in this moment. And what you might notice is that initially it felt quite easy to sit on your heels, and then the stretch in the back of the toes feels quite intense. So if that's happening for you right now, just know that you can walk the hands forward and make this posture a little bit less intense. You can always move deeper if your body calls you to do so. But it's not about our ego here. It's not about pushing. It's about honoring you right now and where you're at. Nice deep breaths, filling the belly and the chest equally, allowing your breath to both soothe your body and your nervous system. You might even feel yourself relax a little deeper into your seat, which will in fact deepen the pose and bring more intensity into the backs of the toes. Start to come out of the pose by walking the hands forward. We come into an all fours position, letting the toes release. You can tap the tops of the feet on the mat just to release gently before we come into our ankle stretch. So now with the toes untucked, to the best of your ability, sit back on your heels now. Walk your hands behind you and start to lift your knees up if possible. If your ankles are so tight that you can barely get your hands behind you to lift your knees up, that is okay. Just work with the best of your ability. It might even be worth having your blocks or your props next to you and having the intention to stretch the ankles by trying to lift maybe one knee at a time. We don't stay too long anyway. We now start to come out of the pose and we make our way into a wide-kneed child's pose. So the big toes touch, the knees spread wide, and we walk our body forward, arms come forward, and we twist here. So your right arm threads underneath your left and your right temple comes down to the mat. The left arm is completely relaxed and so is the right. So here we get a beautiful twisting sensation into the spine. We also get an opening to the right scapula, the back of the right shoulder. And with each breath, and particularly the exhale, have the intention to sink your hips a little deeper, a little closer to your heels. Truly let that left arm be heavy. No gripping. Just allowing your body to be in the shape that it is right now. And however that looks for you. In these particular practices, you'll get more if you surrender more. So we're not working on muscle, we're working on connective tissue, which requires a bit of a different approach. Use your breath as your ally. And start to harmonize the breath and the mind, slowing down, becoming more regular, more balanced. Slowly start to come out of the pose from that side. Recenter yourself before threading your left arm underneath the right, and the left temple comes down. Right arm completely relaxed and no gripping in the left hand or upper body. So if you need something underneath the left temple, you're more than welcome to place a cushion or a block there, and that can even support the extended right arm out in front of you. And the same goes for your hips and your legs. If you need a cushion or props underneath your seat, if your hips don't quite meet back towards your heels and it's causing a little bit of strain on the knees, please go ahead and place support under there so that you're really able to relax and be passive in these poses. These classes are about empowering you to be in charge of your body and in charge of your decisions, the decisions that you make in these moments of how you're going to nourish your body and support it in the way that it needs. By all means, if you have a different way of practicing or a different variation that works for you, get creative and implement that here. Just a few more steady breaths, relaxing as much as you can, letting the head and the neck go, upper body, middle body, and lower body completely relaxed. Slowly starting to come out of the pose and coming onto all fours, wrists underneath your shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. We come into these gentle neck half circles. So gently allow your chin to now roll up to one shoulder and then become heavy, go down back through the center to the other side. And now we'll start making whole circles. So go in one direction, whatever direction you choose first. Do a few rounds on one side. Going nice and slow and really feeling all of the sensations in all parts of the neck. And as your head's moving up, you can time that with your inhale. As the chin and head moves down, you can time that with your exhale. Still going on the same side. Now we'll switch sides, whatever way you are going, just change direction so we get equal stretching on both sides of the neck in the opposite direction. This is one of the safest ways to do neck rolls, where the rest of the body is supported and it's taking on the natural weight of the head. And to conclude, you can make your way out of that pose and come to your comfortable seat, whether it's sitting cross-legged on your mat, whether it's sitting on your heels or sitting in a comfortable chair. So now find that time to get nice and still, to let your body rebalance and recalibrate, and to move forward with grace and ease.